Hey everyone! I use this assignment as a way to learn more about what the state government does for arts and culture in the state I currently reside, which happens to be Florida. I have lived in Jacksonville for approximately 3 years now, and admittedly, other than being familiar with local arts and culture organizations, such as the Jacksonville Symphony, the Museum of Contemporary Art, and the Cummer Museum and Gardens, and being aware of the vibrant arts and culture scenes in other cities such as Tampa, Orlando, and Miami, I didn't really know what the government did for arts and culture in my state. So after reading the prompt for this assignment, I welcome the opportunity to reach out to individuals directly related with arts and culture at the state and local levels, posing the question, what does the state government do regarding arts and culture in Florida? I first reached out to Sandy Shaughnessy, director of the Florida Division of Cultural Affairs. She then directed me to one of her associates, Galen Phillips, who provided me with a rather in-depth answer on what the Division of Cultural Affairs, the state of Florida's arts agency, does specifically for the arts. Ms. Phillips said, "The division's mission is to promote arts and culture as essential to quality of life for all Floridians. Arts and culture contribute to a vibrant and creative Florida. These diverse resources include arts and education, local arts agencies, state service organization, theater, dance, traditional arts, literature, media arts, museum, multidisciplinary, music, presenter, and visual arts programs and projects. In addition to direct funding to organizations and artists, the division provides information and communication to the arts and cultural community, conducts special programming, and maintains awards such as the Artists Hall of Fame and Diversity and Inclusion." She went on further to explain the division's grant program for nonprofit arts and cultural organizations. The division manages annual grant programs for Florida nonprofit arts and cultural organizations. The state legislature is the primary funding source. Through these programs, the division's fund programs support for major institutions all the way down to small volunteer-run organizations for orchestra, theaters, dance companies, museums of all types, presenters, media arts organizations, and others. There is also an artist project category for individual artists. The legislature has consistently supported funding the division. Florida is third in the nation for state arts funding. 2017 to 2018 funding was approximately $24 million for the division's top 3 grant programs. She said, "That's funding that goes directly into communities for arts education, artistic performances, salaries, artist fees, cultural facility construction, theatrical productions, and concerts. Citizens and visitors of all ages can benefit from these activities." The 2016 to 2017 funding, however, was over $32 million. And then she referred me to their website for more detailed descriptions of their programs. So, in short, what I learned from Ms. Phillips' answer was that the Division of Cultural Affairs promotes arts and culture by aiding organizations through their grant program and serves as an informative resource not only for organizations, but for citizens of the state. Also, she notes the state's continued support in funding the division, which indicates to me that the state values the role the arts play both at the state and local levels to build community, develop education, and contribute to the economy. So the second person I questioned was Tony Allegretti, the executive director of the Jacksonville Cultural Council. Mr. Allegretti's answer was similar to Ms. Phillips's answer, but in a much more concise manner. However, Mr. Allegretti provided a bit more insight as to how grantees are selected and how the state determines the amount of funding the Division of Cultural Affairs receives each year. He said, "In short, the state government takes a part of the state budget and allocates funding of arts and cultural organizations through the Division of Cultural Affairs. Much like the Cultural Council administers grants from the city of Jacksonville's budget to organizations locally. The amount of state funding depends on the priorities of the state legislature that particular year." He says, "The Division of Cultural Affairs administers a grant application and hearing to score applicants on excellence of their particular organization. The higher the score, the better the funding from total allocation put forth by the legislature." In addition to grant making, the Division of Cultural Affairs, as the de facto arts agency of the state, also administers the Florida Art Hall of Fame, curates Florida artists' art in state buildings, Florida Poet Laureate, professional development for artists, and exhibitions. So, being that the question used for this assignment pertained to what the state does for arts and culture, I didn't expect Mr. Allegretti to fully expand on what the local government does for the arts, but I'd like to question him on that in the future for further learning. So, to summarize my findings, the state government contributes to the arts by allocating funding to the Division of Cultural Affairs, which then distributes funding to organizations by way of its grant program. Neither Ms. Phillips or Mr. Allegretti touched upon the particular policy issues in the state, but I'm sure through further research I may become aware of such issues, but I'll save that for further questioning. I wasn't particularly surprised by the answers received from both interviewees, and I believe their answers were what I expected. Being that I questioned individuals who work in arts and culture, I can't deny the bias in their answers, but I believe the answers supplied me with a better understanding of what the state does for arts and culture, and I'm certain the answers received would have been quite different had I questioned individuals uninvolved in the arts. So, not only did this assignment allow me to learn about what my state government does for arts and culture, I was able to establish contact with individuals at the state and local levels. This was an invaluable experience which I'm sure opens the opportunity for further research on arts policy at both the state and local levels. Thank you.